What gives you optimism or pessimism about this pass rush going into 2025?
Well, look, I think Haason Reddick's going to make really good players out of those other guys. I mean, look, when he was humming, and I still think he has plenty in the tank. What they're betting on, he had that trade to the Jets, and he wanted a new contract, and he held out. They look at that year as a wash. But before that, Jay, this guy was one of the top pass rushers in the game, and he's motivated, right? Guys are getting $30 million now. He's 30 years old, so he's not the youngest player in the world, but he feels like he still has another contract in him. So he's absolutely going to be something that defenses have to account for. And really, they should be able to have an outside pass rush when you got those two guys inside and Cansey and Vita Vea pushing the pocket like that. So I look for Yaya to take a step up. He got a lot of attention last year. He got a lot of chips and a lot of tight ends and guys coming from him in all directions. And that takes an adjustment. But with Reddick on that side, he'll probably get more one-on-one pass rushes. And look, they love the guys that they took in this draft. I mean, they really do. This Walker kid, David Walker from Central Arkansas, is a special pass rusher. And I know he did it at the lower level. But what you want to see is a guy that dominates at that level, and he did that. I think that they've got some other guys. I think Elijah Roberts, was a premier pass rusher at SMU. You probably saw him play against the Bulls a few times. Before that, he was in Miami. He stepped it up, and he's got versatility. He can play inside, one of those inside positions on the defensive line, as well as rush. So they've got to get something going with some of those young guys. And Braswell has to improve, right? He has to improve his second year. That's when you're going to see the biggest growth. I thought his last 5 games were his best. He did get some pressures, but it's all about getting sacks. So what also will help that is to have a little bit better coverage on the outside. They work hand in hand. You've got to lock down some receivers for those guys to get home to the quarterback. So, drafting 2 guys at corner, I think, is going to help them as well.